Hi guys, this is Dream Shipwrecked, and today it's just me, so you'll have to bury your shame and hope for the best that I won't be too unentertaining as I've been so many times before. While it's just me talking to you guys, I figured we'd go over some of the plot details that have kind of been glossed over by our very tangential conversations. For one, we're currently in the World of the Looking Glass. This is something that's not in the original Alice in Wonderland. This is from Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, I believe is the title. It's completely separate to the original Looking Glass series, or book I should say. It's not quite a series until this came along. But it's still sort of put together with the rest of the books, in the sense of things like Tweedledee, Tweedledum, the Jabberwocky, such kinds of things don't exist in the original story. They only appeared in the Looking Glass. So it's kind of mixed together, but it's all for the best, right? This is obviously a chess-based world. Through the Looking Glass is different to the original story because while the Red Queen in that story was a Red Queen of the card decks, the Red Queen in this story is a Red Queen of the chess pieces, obviously. It's a lot of words to say something very similar, very simple. So this is obviously going to be a bit more, it's the same gameplay, but we're fighting chess pieces instead of cards, and we do have certain puzzle sections like we just saw there a few seconds ago with the bishop, which we had to move only in diagonal directions. So there's a few puzzles like that. We do a knight one in a little bit, I believe, but we will have to see. So who have we fought so far? We fought demons. A lot of that stuff does not have anything to do with anything. The card knights have been the most obvious so far, where they're the queen's servants, they are her personal deck. This guy, by the way, is not going to let us through. I couldn't figure out where the hell to go for a bit, so please put up with my running around trying to find which of these many doors actually work. The card guards are servants of the queen. They aren't doing that well compared to everyone else. I mean, they're great, but they're still starving, as some have mentioned in the game, especially the gnomes. They're not treated fairly, they're beaten up and starved just because there's not that much food. But they're still, the mainstay of the guard. You also have the random things like the boojums, which I don't believe are actually representative of anything. The demons, the fire demons that we saw with the in the area with the Jabberwock's eye staff might be something reminiscent of the fire that Alice's parents died in, but I wouldn't really put too much stock on that. And hey, look, here's some great pathfinding. He dropped on top of my head, and now I can't attack him or move. So let's just cut that part out and try that again, shall we? Really, it's not like Silent Hill or its kin, where these are very, representative of anything special, as far as I can tell. They're just, demons and monsters and creepy shit that American McGee or whoever that is, I think he's one guy, but seems like a very strange name. Actually, I think if I remember correctly, his name was American McGee, which made it odd because he was working in Japan. Something like that. Anyways, monsters aren't that important. And the same thing with the areas, the actual, visual areas so far, the locations, I should say. We don't really have that much in terms of symbolism. I'm going on this little tangent because this will become relevant later as we get closer to the end of the game. Great spikes there. It still bounced me up, and they don't even do anything. The Looking Glass world is where we start sort of unraveling the mystery of Alice's past. I don't believe that this actual section has anything to do with, that particular mystery. But after this, when we start directly fighting the Red Queen, and her, allies like the Jabberwock, who we aren't really spoiling that he's in the game because we found the staff that requires his eye. Oh, that was a good guy. I'm sorry. Thank you for the life essence. Awkward. Anyways. So, we'll start getting into some of that heavier symbolism pretty soon. It's not it's not subtle. It's not going to be subtle whatsoever, They spell things out pretty clearly, but there's still some room for interpretation, depending on what you see and what you hear. I am looking forward to the Mad Hatter section, of course, as well as a few others. I'd say we're about halfway through, maybe 3/4, 2/3, whatever. But it's a good story. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. This is one of my favorite games, which is why I'm Let's Playing it, and also I haven't actually played it in forever, which is why I keep running around in circles. It does show something of a testament of the game that it doesn't really look linear, but it is in a way that's not confusing. I think that section of me running around in a circle trying to find a door is one of the only sections where I've actually had to do that. Like, I very rarely get lost, but it doesn't feel like you're really getting pushed on a corridor, if that makes sense, even though it really is a corridor, just a very twisty-turvy one. That's sort of the issue with some of the games of that era. Let's take, I don't know, Quake, for example. In theory, I never actually played Quake, much to my lack of gaming credit, I guess. But it's a lot of... I've played games like it, and it's a lot of, the same brown corridor, pasted 17 times. You get really confusing, and it's hard to determine where you're supposed to go, which... I mean, it's not... you kind of can't judge those games by modern standards, but every time I hear someone complain about how modern-day shooters are very much corridor shooters, and they're not a whole lot of open world, I kind of laugh a little bit to myself, because open world is very hard to pull off. The Doom game that was recently made, Doom 2016, is a good example of... open world shooting done well, but ultimately that's a very linear shooter as well. There's a few areas where you can either go path A or path B, but it's still generally very, straightforward. At least compared to its, I guess, earlier versions of itself and games like that. I mean, some could argue that it cuts down on exploration when you do this or that, but I don't know. I prefer it better that way. This is a night puzzle, by the way. We need to jump around as Ignite. I assume everyone's played chess, but I don't mean to say that in a denigrating way. If anyone hasn't played chess, the knight piece, which is the horse, can only move in 2 in 1 space. So basically it has to make an L shape. It can't go less, it can't go further, it has to be an L, which is why I have to go back and forth. The bishop from earlier can only move diagonally, but in any number of spaces that he wants. I probably should explain that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that everyone's played chess, but you never know. I mean, I just relearned how to play euchre the other day, and it brought shame to my Michigan ancestors. The game is... like I said, it's linear, but it's in a good way. This area gets a little bit more open. I think the first really open area is that hub world that we were back a while back, but they don't really make you run down long corridors just for no payoff, so it works out. And ultimately, you don't even need to fight most of these guys. I do wonder why they keep shoving all these items in your face. I'm pretty sure that if you haven't gotten the croquet mallet by now, you're probably an idiot and probably not going to actually get it at all. Sometimes you just deserve to lose if you're that dense. Come on, kill him, Alice, you're almost dead. Come on, I believe in you, believe in the heart of the cards. Well, I mean, the deck of cards. Okay, that was terrible. Don't believe in the heart of those cards. Those cards suck. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.